Hey, I'm Sofia. We're at station 18 today. And though they may look like it, these are not trained yoga professionals. This is B Shift. We're here all day. Thanks for joining us. And thank you guys for helping me make this happen. We have a super chill class on days where you're feeling maybe a little fatigued or lazy, but just know that you want to move your body a little bit. If you have blocks, they're going to come in really handy, so pause this now and go look for them. They're probably somewhere in a closet upstairs. If you don't have them, get a hold of Jessica Cohn and she will help you get some blocks to your station. They're going to be awesome for today, so take a moment to find them if you have them. Other than that, let's come on down to the mat and we're going to start laying on our backs. Take a moment to stretch out. You made it to your mat, so you're already successful today. Grab a hold of your right knee, hug it into the chest. Just rock it a little bit side to side. This isn't a super alignment-based class. We're just kind of letting our bodies show us how they want to move today, and switch sides. Hug the left knee in. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, start taking some deep breaths in and out through the nose. And switch. This time, hover your left leg off the floor. So it's gonna be straight hovering. You're gonna feel just a little bit of core work required to hold that. If you wanna add a little more core work, lift your head and shoulders off the mat. So it's a pretty minimal effort class today. Only gonna ask a little bit from you. Switch. If you want an even easier class, check out the passive recovery yoga class that I made. Good. One more time, switch. Head and shoulders off the mat. Leg is hovering and straight. Try to keep the neck relaxed. And switch. Breathing. Good. From there, go ahead and lay down. Put your feet on the edges of the mat. We're just gonna do a little twist side to side. So you can take your arms out and just pivoting on the heels. So it's really gonna be kind of more of a mobility class than a deep stretching class. We're not gonna be holding postures for very long. We're just rocking in and out. All right, come back to center. And go ahead and make your way back up to seated. You could just rock up or roll over to the side and come over to all fours. All right. Hands under the shoulders. Take a cow pose, so drop the belly, look forward, draw the shoulders down the back. And then from there, we're gonna sink back to a child's pose. So walk your hands forward, sink your hips towards your heels, stretch out, let the forehead come down, and then inhale, rise back up. You can keep your hands where they are. Just go back to that cow pose. Drop the belly, look up, press the hands into the mat, and exhale back. Opening up the low back. Just visualize the shapes your spine is making here. Inhale, come forward, little back bend. Drop the belly, lift the tailbone, exhale, child's pose. And one more time. Inhale and exhale, child's pose. All right, from here we're gonna set up in a downward facing dog. So plant the hands firmly, tuck the toes under, and roll up through the spine, lifting your hips up high and sink the head down low. Okay, so in this posture, it's easy to lose the correct shape. So really bend the knees slightly so you can push the hips up and back even more, really pressing through the hands. Looking good, guys. And then start to pedal out the heels one at a time. So sink one heel down and bend the other knee, and then switch. Good. Feeling the backs of the legs start to open up. The head is hanging down. You can also let your hips kind of sway side to side here. Start to feel those outer hips stretching a little bit, IT bands. Good. And sinking both heels back and down. And from here, we're gonna take our right foot forward. So huck that right foot up. If you need some help, just use your hand, and let's grab a hold of those blocks. Okay, so if you don't have blocks, you're just gonna keep your hands here on the floor. The blocks are just gonna make this a little more comfortable and easy. So get more upright, and the blocks have 3 settings, so whatever setting you wanna use. We'll start with the high one. And now lunging down and forward. And here we're just gonna rock a little bit side to side. So use this rocking. It's not like a fast fidgeting rock, just kind of a slow exploration of what's going on in the body today, feeling into those hip flexors. It's probably mainly where you feel this one. And then take the blocks with you, and we're gonna come into a hamstring stretch. So walk them back, lift the front toes off the ground. And it's okay to keep a little bend in the knee here, and then lengthen out through the spine, shoulders down, and we're just kind of hinging over that leg. Same thing, little rock side to side here. Feeling all the different hamstrings, shifting your weight. Okay. Focusing on the feeling of the practice, not so much what it looks like. And keep breathing in and out through the nose. Release forward and rock. So some days it's really hard to work out, hard to make it to the mat because we're feeling fatigued. As firefighters, we never know how we're gonna feel from one day to the next, but that doesn't mean that we can't show up and try something. So if you're waiting to feel 100% to, do your yoga practice or to get your workout in, you're not doing anyone any favors. Just some days it's just about showing up and see what happens. All right, pull back, last time here. Again, this knee can be a little bit bent. Spine is long, we're shifting side to side. Deep breath. And come on forward again. So set your blocks off to the side. Retrieve them momentarily, don't worry. Lift the back knee off the floor. We're gonna step back to our downward dog. Keeping your core nice and strong, we're gonna ripple forward to a plank pose. Okay, shoulders are right over the wrists. Legs are strong. Make sure your hips aren't too high or too low. And then push back, downward dog. Inhale, moving with the breath. Come forward to plank. Warming up the shoulders, and exhale, downward dog. Good breathing. Inhale, forward. And exhale, back. All right, we're gonna do that on the other side. Inhale, take the left foot forward. Okay, again, if that wasn't graceful, don't worry, just get that foot up somehow. Find your blocks. Rise up. Make sure this front heel is pretty far forward so that as we lunge, your knee isn't gonna cross over your toes here. All right, chest is lifted, and now sinking forward, just kind of letting your body show you where it wants to go. No force necessary, and do a little bit of a rock. Again, if the blocks are better for you a little bit lower, feel free to experiment. So it's okay to have lazy days. Doesn't need to be a bad thing. We don't need to be hard on ourselves. Just some days, that's what it is. It's good to have different ways of working with your body. Go ahead and pull back. Some days might be good for heavy lifting or high intensity interval training. Some days just roll around on the floor, rock side to side is all that you need. But moving your body is always a good idea. It always makes you feel better. And come on forward again, bring the blocks. Keep the chest nice and upright. And back. Hamstring stretch. Lengthen out through the spine. So if your hands are on the ground, you might need to bend that knee a little more just so that you can find some extension through the spine. But not worrying too much about perfect alignment today. All right, come on forward. And we'll step back to our plank pose again. Get in your plank. Arms should be straight but not locked. Shoulders are down the back. Legs are squeezing in. From here, we're gonna drop the hips down to the floor. So this is kind of a nice relaxed back bend here. My arms are straightish. If this is way too much on your back, go ahead and just come on down to the forearms. That's great too. If this feels good, then stay here, relax those shoulders down, and just do a little rock side to side. Okay, hips are heavy, body's pretty relaxed. Notice if you're tensing up in your neck or shoulders. Least amount of effort is the goal today. And downward dog. Press it back. And take the right knee towards the right hand now for pigeon pose. Oh yeah. All right, tuck the back toes under, walk that back leg back a little bit. Again, not gonna be our deepest pigeon pose ever today. If you have blocks, grab them and just kind of sit upright for a moment. Relax the shoulders down. And then we're gonna come forward, hinging. If you have the blocks, put your forearms on them. And same thing here, just rock side to side. You can close your eyes, get into the feeling here. Becoming aware of what's happening in that outer right hip today. Notice if you're still breathing deeply in and out through the nose. It's going to help calm the nervous system. Again, it's not about fidgeting in the pose, but just rocking. Which is easier for some of us. As firefighters, a lot of us aren't good at sitting still. That's why we got this job. So yoga classes where you're asked to sit there and hold a posture for a long time can be really challenging for a lot of people. So maybe this style will be more exciting for you. All right, let's come on up. Step it back, downward dog, press through the hands, engage the core, lift, really sink those heels down, get that good downward dog shape. Press the heels back and down. And then come forward to that plank pose again. We'll do one more back bend, so either staying up high here. It's kind of a dramatic back bend, so not gonna be for everybody. This one's really nice too, and just a little rock. Lower body's pretty relaxed. So if you are feeling really fatigued right now, it's good to just notice if that's something that's been going on for a long time. Come on down, press back, downward dog. Left knee comes forward, pigeon pose. Or if it's just something that you're feeling today, or if it's a trend that's been happening in your life lately. If so, maybe it's time to look at, what you're prioritizing. If you're making time for sleep, lift that back knee, extend the leg back and come forward. If you're making time for healthy exercise, connection with your community, family, things that really feed you. If you're someone who uses any sort of fitness tracker, smart or Apple Watch or Fitbit, keeping track of your heart rate variability is a good way to see how recovered you are and which direction you're trending in. So just being honest with yourself. Is this fatigue something that I feel all the time? And is there any simple changes I can make to help deal with that? All right, come on up. And downward facing dog. Sink those heels down and back. And just moving in and out of that back bend a couple times. Nice and slow and controlled. Drop the hips, roll the shoulders back. And press it back. So any variation of this. Really pressing all the way back to downward dog. Come all the way forward into your back bend. Could be low, could be high. And And downward dog. And let's go ahead and walk the feet forward now. Come into a forward fold at the top of the mat. So bend your knees. Hang down for a moment here. Let your upper body kind of drape. If you're not feeling that draping effect, try bending your knees a little more and get your chest a little bit closer to your thighs. All right, from there, let's inhale to a flat back. So we want our spine about parallel with the floor here. My knees are slightly bent. I have my natural curve here of my low back. And then I'm gonna keep that flat back and rise all the way up. Good, go ahead and grab a hold of your wrist at the top. Just take a quick little side bend here, because it feels great. And we're just gonna move through a couple modified sun salutations. So we're gonna do more flowing with the breath now. Still nice and relaxed and easy, but go ahead and stand at the top of the mat. You guys doing good back there? Mm-hmm. All right, so good. Inhale, reach up. Deep breath in, exhale. So just one breath per movement now. Folding in, draw the forehead towards the shins. Inhale, half lift. Hands can be on the shins, pulling the chest forward. Exhale, step the right foot all the way back. So big, low lunge. Let that knee come to the floor. Press through your left heel for some stability here. Inhale, reach the arms up. Maybe back a little bit too. And exhale. Step back, plank pose. Lower down to the ground. Elbows hug into the rib cage. Inhale. Back bend, exhale, downward dog. Walk it forward, all the way up. When you get to the top, inhale, flat back. Exhale, deep fold. Really hug the chest towards the thighs, and flat back, reach up. Stretching up, and exhale, hands down. Again, inhale up. Exhale, fold. Powerful breath. Inhale, pull forward, push the hips back, draw the chest forward. Exhale, left leg steps back, low lunge. Good, ground through that right heel. Stabilizing through the feet and the knees, reach up. And exhale down. Good, so we're flowing, but keeping a nice, relaxed feeling in the body. Lower down, back bend, downward dog. Sink the heels and look forward, walking or stepping forward. Inhale when you get there. Exhale down. Inhale, reach up. And let's just fold right back into the next one. Exhale all the way down. Good, get that deep fold. Hug your head in towards your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Beautiful. Exhale, fold, step back with the right foot. Inhale. Make that breath last the whole length of the movement. And exhale. Plank pose. Elbows in, lower down. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Walk or step forward. Inhale, half lift. Nice flat back. Exhale, dive down. And all the way up. All the way back down, last one. Make it your best one. Inhale, half up. Exhale, left leg back. Reach up. And exhale down. Step it back. Elbows spin into the rib cage. Find that back bend of your choosing. And downward dog. All right, walk it forward. Inhale, half up. For last forward fold here, really get deep here. Hug that chest towards the thighs. And flat back, reach all the way up. All right, so even on low energy days, hopefully we can muster something like that, and it actually makes you feel so energized, doesn't it? Woo! That's a thumbs up. All right, turn to the side of your mat and go nice wide stance here. Put your hands on your hips, bend your knees a little bit, and we're gonna push the hips back and start to fold forward. So let your hands just kind of slide down. Hopefully they can make it to the floor. Okay, if not, just go a little wider with your feet or bend your knees more. With the hands on the floor, take a moment here to pull the chest forward. And then you're probably already feeling your hamstrings a lot here. But we're gonna go a little bit deeper if possible. Drop the head down and maybe walk the hands back through the feet. Good. You can let your head hang down and let the head kind of shake out a little bit. So again, if you're not feeling that your upper body will like hang down, try bending the knees a little more. That's just a sign that your hamstrings are so tight, they're not allowing your spine to come forward. So this is considered an inversion, which is any pose where we're getting our head lower than our heart. So we're actually getting a lot of blood flow rushing to the brain, to the abdominal organs, kind of pooling there. And it can really help with your mood, can help calm the nervous system. So just letting yourself hang there. You're also getting a great hamstring stretch, obviously. And then we're gonna start to move a little bit here. So bend your right knee, sink your weight over to the right, sink your hips back a little bit towards the heels, and then bend your left knee. Good. So keeping that head down, that nice hanging sensation of the upper body. The head's pulling some traction on the spine. Good, couple more times. And come back to center, hang down, last breath here. And then bend the knees and inhale with your flat back. Drive through the heels and come all the way up to standing. Woo, do that slowly. Also be lightheaded like me. All right, we are coming back down to the floor. Just got a couple more postures for you here. Have your blocks kind of mid-span. And we're gonna lay back. We're gonna set up for a bridge pose. So walk your heels in towards your hips. Feet are parallel, about hip distance apart. And be aware of your knees in this pose. We don't want them splaying out as you rise up. So we're gonna add the arms to this. So press through your heels. Start lifting the hips away from the floor. As you do that, take your arms up and over towards the floor overhead. Now lift up. Use the hamstrings and the glutes to help you lift higher. And then exhale, slowly come on down. Good, inhale, lift up. Just a little bit of strengthening of the back side, stretching through the front side. And bring it down. Good, couple more times. Inhale, lift. See if you can lift a little higher. Exhale, lower. And one more time, up. And down. All right, so we got one last pose for you here. If you don't have a block, go ahead and just set up in traditional Shavasana, so feet wider than hip distance, walk it out. We have blocks, so we're gonna do this really delightful posture. It's a bridge pose, but with the support of a block. So you get all the benefits of what we were just doing, but you don't have to do any of the work. So, good trick for a lazy day. Lift the hips up, slide the block underneath your sacrum, so that flat part of your pelvis. Your tailbone should be kind of hanging off the edge of this. Okay, and then make sure you're comfortable. Just move it around till you find a stable place. All right, from there, you can take your arms wherever, maybe out to the sides or overhead. Just go ahead and relax your weight onto the block. So again, this is an inversion. So our head is lower than our heart. Getting a little extra blood flow to the brain can help on those days where we're maybe feeling just a little foggy or fatigued or cranky. Some mood elevating qualities to this pose. So wherever you are, just relaxing the body, the shoulders, the belly, the feet. Good things happen when you get on your yoga mat, even if you don't feel like you have much to give. So just thank yourself for showing up here today and doing what you could. Let this final resting pose be just like hitting the reset button for your day. Whatever comes next, hopefully you just feel a little more grounded, a little more at ease, a little more comfortable in the body. Let's take one more breath here. If you have more time, obviously, stay here as long as you want, up to 10 minutes. But I know you guys are busy, so we will lift off the blocks, drive through your heels, move the block to the side. Take a moment to come down and just let your spine kind of neutralize after that. Maybe a little shift side to side, or if you want to hug the knees into the chest. And we will make our way back up to seated, some way, somehow. All right, you guys made it. All right, well, thank you for showing up even on a lazy day, and take care.